Hey guys, as you know, I started this journey 3 days ago where I was starting to study what informational websites do, what they're all about, and how easy it is to create them now that we have GPT, and how far you can get with them. How many keywords do we always think you can aim for with a single page? See this 25,600 here? This is fewer than 200 pages doing this. Okay, each page is aiming is in the top 100 results for about 125 keywords. Now, this does not mean that they're on page one for every one of those keywords. They're not. They're on page one for maybe a tenth. So why would you even count anything past page 1 to page 10? You know, those top 100? Because when Google shows that there's like 1.4 million results for the keyword, that means whatever somebody typed into the box, all those words appear in any order on the page, but doesn't have anything to do with the search intent. Okay. Once you're in the top 100 for the keyword, that means you won Google's attention as far as being one of the 100 best related results out of the millions and millions. So from there, now that you're in the top 100, you push yourself up. Okay. So 25,600, they're in the top 100 for, which is weird because here's how it went for them. They bought the domain right about here and spent all their time creating the content right up in here. They may have quit creating the content right about here or here or here. I'm not sure when they quit. But guess what? Google started to watch the first few people land on the first pages that Google began to show, and those people hung out on the pages. They were getting their questions answered. They saw context that came before and after what they were asking about. The page had pictures, it made sense, it was interesting. Just small little tidbits answering every little point all the way down. Addictive, easy to stay hooked on and read a little bit more than a little bit more than a little bit more. And they'd have the ads spread all through the middle of it, right? So, a website that shows up that ranks for fewer than 1,000 keywords is considered small. From 1,000 to 30,000, it's considered middle, if you can believe that, meaning ranking in the top 100. Okay, so by the time you're ranking for this many keywords, you probably got like 256 on the front page, maybe 2,560 on the front page. Okay, so that is considered medium. And that's even with like 46,848 people clicking on their website, not the keywords. A lot more people coming to the keywords than that. But out of all the people coming to the keywords, 46,840 are clicking on their pages, whichever page came up for their search. So as Google saw that people were hanging out and enjoying their time on the pages, maybe clicking something, ads or some link to some other page, like one of the related posts, or even one of the clickable links down the page to the right content piece that they want. Google said, wow, these pages are doing well, and they shoved them up higher. And then they pretty much reached max. I would say this right here means maximum for this right here. Okay. Some of the keywords that have been catching up behind, help push the curve hard. But then finally, they're right about here. You know what I love about this? If you create content in month 1, you never expect it to even start ranking for month 2 or 3. You're expecting the curve to start over here and to go up very lightly and gradually over the next 3 months. Up a little, 3 months later, up a little more, 3 months later, up a little more. Now, Google's a lot more sophisticated about seeing how well people are reacting on your pages. They test you better. They trust what they see. They see how other pages are similarly organized on your site. They give you more clout, more room, more effort. And if it works, they can get you to the top of that curve pretty quick. Okay? So, as long as we buy expired domains that have age, Google loves age on a domain. It means people are showing interest in the domain name, which is important. That's already a great starting point. And then once you have that, and there's some kind of backlinks on there, and I had somebody say, why pay more money for like a domain from auction? Say you pay somebody $415 instead of just get one for $10. Tell you why. You paid someone to buy that domain long, long ago and use it for something related to the domain, and go out there and get some links on like yellow pages and maybe some local news article about where some of the best places to eat in town are. Okay, in this case, because it's a restaurant, right? Well, a tavern. Okay, Oxbow has like this big statue of an ox outside on this bow that they have from a ship or something. That's why they called the Oxbow Tavern. Anyway, they closed, most likely, right? And so they finally let the domain go and just sold it for what they could get it for. And they got like $415 out of it when somebody bought it. It had no traffic, nothing, but it had age. This domain is many years old. As a matter of fact, SpyFood's been tracking them since February 2018, but they're older than that if you go look on archive.org. Okay, and not just that, but they got those links from Yellow Pages. So why are you paying $415 to someone else instead of $10 for a brand new domain? The brand new domain is a nobody. It's innocent. It has no connections in this universe. It's born just like any other domain. It is as indistinguishable from any other new domain to Google as an ant from any other ant in the anthill is to us. One of those ants might be more impressive, but we can't really tell. It's too soon to say. We don't know enough about it. We don't know how other people react to it, right? Here's the thing, though. If you pay someone to sit on it, buy it earlier, set it up for you one day, and just sit on it and make it an aged domain with backlinks that's about the right thing and not mess up the spam score. There are a number of things you look at when you check out domains. When you're paying them that $415, you're paying them to do all that work for you. It's like paying someone to age the meat for you, paying someone to age the wine for you, you know, to bottle, grow it, harvest it, stamp on the grapes, do everything to process it all out, bottle it, stick it somewhere in the right temperature, and watch it for a long time. So those domains, when they're picked up, just prove to Google, in fact, that people are still showing interest in those domains. So the very act of buying one that was expired or auctioned off that's got great scores on it already proves to Google that this domain is still ripe with potential. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's not a nobody. And when you take one of those and you start doing something good with it, like they did here between Feb and March, most likely they did all the pages in here. They did 200 pages. Even if you're doing them manually, you can pull that off, you know, in a month, right? Like a page a day for 20 days kind of thing. Or I'm sorry, 10 pages a day for 20 days with GPT. So it's not that hard to do. And then up they go. Okay, made them a medium-sized website. Medium-sized. That was the effort it took to get to a medium-sized website. Now that they show up for all these things, people arrive on the pages and they've got ads. So as long as the advertisers are advertising nationwide to pretty much everyone, like pretty much anyone could be in their market that's looking up the stuff that relates to the topic at large. And that's good. And that already is what people want to buy. So they bought it here, did their work here, sat on it for about 2 months, 2.5 even, and once the traffic curve was leveling off, they sold it for 10 times over, right up in here. The guy who bought it from them is going to keep all those pages on the site and switch out the AdSense accounts to his own or her own and just keep writing off the profits for however long. So they're going to make their money back real quick, okay? That's what these guys did. They built it up and sold it for more than its, well, for less than its value, so it was an easy sell. Still 10 times better what they put into it. Now, what if this had been something more specific? They went after real generic stuff. Everybody eats, everybody drinks, everyone goes for entertainment. Well, if you went after landscaping, so many things you could do for landscaping. And then when you get up here, it's all landscaping. These are green thumb people. Then the ads that go in the pages are going to have to do with landscaping. So now we got landscapers looking up regular landscaping interest stuff, being curious, reading the articles, and seeing the cool ads for anything. Like those collapsible hoses so that they're easy to roll up and store, you know, stuff like that. And so anybody that wants to put their ads in there, those ads apply to everyone who's visiting the pages. You know how many people you can get on these pages? Like 100,000 a month. Okay? All right, real fast. I want to point this out. Then I'm going to make the offer to you guys because I'm getting close to figuring it out. So check this out. These guys have a domain rating of a lousy 23. That's it. Anybody can do this in about 3 months. You could set it up and just wait. Within a year, you're going to have this anyway. I mean, they got it anyway. They got 107 linking websites, about 3/4 of which are, or 2/3 of which are do follow. It's a really good ratio. Backlinks, it doesn't matter. If it's 107, that could be 107 backlinks. Google says having more backlinks doesn't matter. One per website is enough. That's a new thing for them. Only reason to bother having more is if you have exact traffic to exact pages and you want to exactly be there. Many of these things are some silly, silly sites. And then the rest of them, people go, well, that's a DR80. You know what we learned? A DR7 that only links to you passes you more juice than a DR90 that links to 1 million different websites or 1,000 different websites. Okay? Because the juice gets divided across however many people they link out to. Okay? So just so you know, this is worth more than this, most likely. Okay? Just being niche, being in the game. And by the way, yeah, we can create our own websites and link through them. Matter of fact, here's the funny thing I want to point out. This Oxbow Tavern, I went to a different website that shows up for fresh pork neck steaks, whatever. Delicious or versatile cut of pork, blah, blah, blah. I was going down through it and stuff, right? Somewhere I saw this, neck steaks. Oh, that's interesting. It's a link. I can click it. Oh, it goes to a whole different site called Oxbow Tavern. We're linking to their page that talks about how long to cook pork shoulder at 350 degrees. Well, that's funny. Why did they send you here instead of just explain it here? Oh, because the purpose of this website that we're on right now is to be a slave to Oxbow Tavern. Get it? To make Oxbow Tavern the master, to give it more juice, to give it more rank, to give it more ability to show up for higher keyword difficulty keywords. Oh, so you buy a bunch of websites to make a few rank high. Let's take a look at another one. The goodbeanscafe.com. Ooh, that's pretty cool, huh? I go reading on down through it, and somewhere in here, guess what I find? Let me see. Oh, how much ground coffee to use for 4 cups? Not 1 cup or 2 or 8, but one of those has a link. Best 4-cup coffee makers. Notice how it doesn't say best 2-cup, best 1-cup, best 8-cup coffee makers. There are no links. Just this one, best 4-cup coffee makers. I wonder where it goes. Oh, Oxbow Tavern. Their page about best 4-cup coffee makers. Ha ha. So we have at least a couple of sites that they bought that they used to bring these up. But you know what they're doing? They're linking through the topics differently. It's different than reciprocal because the searcher intent is completely different. The demographics of the searchers are different. And so what that means is that all of these websites are rising in rank in parallel to one another as they buy them, grow them, flip them, buy more domains, grow them, flip them, buy more domains, grow them, flip them, buy more domains, grow them, flip them, buy more domains. How long have they been doing it? About since, whoops, sorry, I'm going too far back. Since never before. They started doing it now that GPT makes it easy. As a matter of fact, the earliest sites I could find from these guys are somewhere between November and December. In other words, after October, when Google changed all the rules and said no more spin tags. Forget spin tags. They said now GPT is okay as long as you use it right. It's kind of what happened. Back here they were saying no to AI, but it got so good that they started saying okay. And then come December they said, dang it, only if you make sure that the information you write about is reasonable. But somewhere in there, they came up with some new standard called YMYL, or at least they expanded upon it amazingly. So Google said everyone's going to create every kind of content. Most of it, we don't know if it's fact-based or not because it's just stuff like, how do you paint a house efficiently? Well, I mean, there's a ton of ways to do it, right? Lots of tools to use. What's the right number of slices in a pizza? Oh my God, that's a different number, right? A lot of things doesn't have an exact answer, but it's still fun to read. Okay? So Google just said, look, if you're going to make claims of fact, back it up. And so YMYL, you need a doctor to say that this is real, or a lawyer to say that it's real, or a financial advisor to say it's real if you're going to say it's real. But for anything that's just general purpose, like how to grow a ripe tomato, that's not your money or your life. That somebody reads it, they can disagree or agree, they can think whether it applies to them or not, they can test it out or not. No one gets hurt. That's different than medical advice or legal advice or financial advice, right? That's just, hey, we're here in life, maybe you're interested, you know. So these guys only started this. What are we going to do? Same thing. All the stuff that we did before this, all the industries that we've been getting into with accident attorneys, all the stuff for lawyers, and all the stuff, even I think for alcohol, drug, and rehab, but I think I can flip some of those websites into this kind of informational-based stuff because there's so much stuff to say about drugs and so many stories to write about or so many points of view. I'll bet, I don't even know what keyword to look up yet, but it won't take any time to figure out how to make a lot of use of that. Legal stuff, that's an issue for me. I'm probably going to take everyone that was legal and flip them over into these other things and account for everyone's share, because you know what I'm thinking about doing now? And you guys, I want you to tell me. Send me an email, tell me if you like this idea, because I want to finally quit flipping things around. I want to land on something and just stay the heck there. Here's what I think. It's too hard to do projects for a lot of lawyers because we need to put lawyers into the websites, or we need to make deals with lawyers. Well, what? If we're going nationwide, are we going to deal with 3,000 lawyers? That's hard work, right? That's tremendous hard work. Okay, we go through the lead networks. Yeah, but the lead networks, we want to ask them, which lawyers are you sending the leads to so we can write about those lawyers on our web pages? And you know what the lead networks are going to say? I'm not going to tell you that. And you know what that means? We would have to lie. We would have to just pick some lawyers out of the blue that are in the area and say, these are some of our lawyers, or some of the lawyers we send your leads to, so to speak, right? Meet some of our partners, you know. And those guys are not going to be happy when they find out we just did it without their permission. And I don't want to get into that kind of legal predicament. But you can't promote them without mentioning them, or else we don't have anything that ties us down and makes it clear that we're right. Okay? However, these informational-based websites, you don't need anyone's permission. You can rank easily for tons of keywords. You can get lots of traffic. They get traffic. They're worth more now. You can sell them. How much for? Typically, you can flip these websites for like 10 to 25 times over every 3 months. What makes the difference between 10 times over and 25 times over? Combination of overlapping things. One is the amount of traffic you're getting, like literally. Take a look at this. I want to point this out in case you didn't understand this point. They get about 47,000 monthly clicks. That's worth about $25,000 per month of somebody spending money on pay-per-click. So if somebody had to pay for pay-per-click, and we adjusted their position down to the organics. We just pretended that all of those cost money too, and we just adjusted down to them for whatever, every keyword position, and we did the math on it. What we're going to find is this. Somebody has to spend $25,000 a month to show up for that much traffic. But by building up the website this way with informational pages, they don't have to spend anything. So anyone who has something to sell, which can apply to this market generally, they can pitch it down here and not be paying this kind of money. They can even do cost per 1,000 views. What's that mean? For those who don't know. See this up here? I didn't click it. But they may not be paying whether I click it or not. It might be free to them if I click it. You know what this is? This is just showing up multiple times for me. So when I land on the page, it shows up. If I come through another page, it'll show up. It may not show up every single time, but it's going to show up 1,000 times for the amount of money they paid. How much are they paying for that thing to show up? Well, it depends on how many advertisers they're competing with. If this website only allows its preferred advertisers, they're paying a penny per 1,000 clicks, because that's the baseline bottom. CPM, it's called, right? So if they're paying a penny, and it could be a penny, maybe Google moved it up to a nickel for all I know, but they're paying like a penny to get seen 1,000 times and maybe clicked on. Holy crap, do you know how cool that is? What if what you sell pays you like $250 on the sell? Okay? And you could show up 1,000 times on these pages for a penny. What if one person clicks you out of every 1,000? It costs you a penny. So how many people does it take to make a sale? 10? 100? 100 pennies is $1. So what if you were going to make $250 per sale, but it cost you $1 to advertise this way? See what I'm saying? The organic section of Google, so you don't pitch. It's so you build pages that answer stuff for people. That's cool. And then on those pages, you make offers. And whoever is ready at the time or they're in market, these ads can be pitched at me. They don't even have to relate to the page. How long to cook pork shoulder at 350 degrees is about the page. The ads could be about that, but see how that's not happening? I'm seeing Twilio. I'm seeing ClickFunnels. You know why? Because I do a lot of market research and stuff, especially lately for SEO stuff. So I'm seeing what relates to me. If I've been looking at some of the stuff lately, or anything related to them, they're retargeting me, either directly or through partners. So I could well click. So whoever owns this website made so many pages so that they show up for 50,000 clicks a month. 47,000 people a month are landing on their pages, right? And then out of them, some percentage will click these things and they get paid. Okay? You offer informational, but if you want to tie in more, like I say, then instead of going for something like a tavern, go for something more specific, landscaping, right? There are a lot of niches. And so then that way, the thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are coming your way, because you're talking about the stuff they want to read about, those people relate better. So you have a higher percentage of clicks. You know, they're in market. Most likely, because by the time they're reading interesting stuff that relates to the ads, there's a better connection, right? This is jarring. I'm seeing Twilio, coffee, ClickFunnels. It's jarring. But what if it was for landscaping? And I'm saying, get your collapsible hose. Here's the interesting landscaping thing I was reading about. And then here's like where you get the lights that are solar powered that you could just stick down into the ground going along the side of your sidewalk in the backyard. Whoa, a lot more interest and reason to click on that now. See that? So having said that, I want to start moving people into this, and I want to get kind of a buyer's club. You know what I mean by buyer's club? I want to quit differentiating between you guys so much, because that forces a wedge in my time. I have to write for this topic, write for that, create for this, create for that, work on this, work on that, see if this is set up right, see if that's set up right. Do we have leads coming through this county? Yeah. What about that county? Do we have leads? What do we have to do to improve the keyword relatedness there? Where do we have to write more pages? How's it looking now? Where do we do the backlinking? See, all of that is what we've been doing, right? As of 3 days ago, I started to realize this is better. What can we do now? As you guys are pulling funds, we're buying these domains, building them up, putting the backlinks in for those. As a matter of fact, which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? It might be this one. It might not. Oh, one of these websites blew my mind with what it had. Let me see if I can find it because it was way down low. It said down underneath one of their tables on the page. I was laughing, sorry. It said something like, click here to see 4 more rows. But that's not what happened when you click there. It was a backlink to Oxbow Tavern. I had to laugh. I couldn't believe it. It was literally click here to see 4 more rows, but it brought you to the related page of the other website, which we can do anyway. Yeah, there's a backlink to someone else, thekitchen.com from Oxbow Tavern. So I'm on Oxbow Tavern, and this links to thekitchen.com. 5 reasons why your coffee tastes bad and how to fix it next time. Ooh. So Expo Tavern could have kept writing about this all they wanted, but they're linking to other pages that talk about the same kind of thing. What do you think that does? And then they got links to basic places like the SCAA.org, the Specialty Coffee Association of America. That way they legitimize what they're saying and leading you to big players also if you want. So you can research more. You know how cool that is? You do that stuff and you put some ads on it and Google wants to show you. So what do I mean by the club? You guys are paying in. We're building up these sites, making them great. When the graphs start to flatten out, okay? Where am I? When the graphs start to flatten out. Back here. Hold on. Yep. Right around here, it's time. So right up in here sometime, they sold it right about here, by the way. Expo Tavern got sold right about here. Part of the reason it went flat, the new buyers aren't going to be doing any new stuff on it. They don't know what they're doing. They're just going to ride it out. They're going to get the AdWords revenue for as long as they possibly can right off of here from the point of their purchase. They're just going to ride it out. Now, maybe they'll come back and ask these guys to help them out. Maybe they know what they're doing. Who knows? But anyway, a lot of people do that. They look for sites that are already getting a lot of traffic like these, and then they figure out what they can sell that applies to that traffic, whether it's nationwide or industry-based or interest-based or hobby-based or location-based or what, you know? And that's cool. So what are we going to do? Get in, build them up, set them up, flip them. Get in, build them up, flip them. Get in, build them up, flip them. So you guys coming in, I want you in on that. And that way I can finally start doing the kind of thing we should be doing. Think about it this way. This is so important. Say you start with a grand, and I don't know, I got a price probably $1,500 to include expired domains and do the rest of the work right. Okay? I'm probably going to say $1,500 per site. And then if you want to come in with a stack, guess what the advantage is going to be if you come in with more than one? I'm going to start linking in the order in which people are coming into this process. So the first people in get the biggest benefit in the end because their sites are going to start to grow. And while that happens, I'm building the next guy's sites and the next guy's sites and the next guy's sites and the next guy's sites. And you know what they're going to do? The next guy's linked to these guys. The next guy's linked to those guys who link to these guys. The next guy's linked to those guys who link to those guys who link to the guys who link to these guys. So the ones who are getting in first, they're going to get the greatest overall shove up on their graphs because their keyword difficulty is going to keep rising. And if you come in with multiple sites, guess what? The next guy's coming in, I'm going to backlink through your multiple sites. Then the next guy's coming in, I'm going to backlink through their site or sites on the way to your site or sites. Get it? So this is amazing because every next buyer benefits everyone who came before. And this is just going to keep going. So we're going to produce all this stuff and then flip it. So what if we're to a point where, and that's cool because everyone's going to follow along in the progression. It's going to work for you too. There are always going to be new guys saying, hell yeah, to this idea, believe me. So what happens if 1,500 happens and then at the end of 3 months we decide to flip it? Okay, divided by 3. I don't even know why I'm talking about clear. My head. And we get like 10 times out of it or 9 times or 8 times. Let's just say 8. Let's say somewhere between buying it, building it, and then flipping it means getting 8 times the money back. You know what? We could make it 10. I'll tell you why. Frankly, I think it's going to be more like 20 to 25 instead of 10. You know why? 10 is for generic traffic. People looking up how many ounces in a cup. How many slices in a pizza? That's just anybody, right? No demographic. But we did this with landscaping. Couldn't believe. Of course, it's true, right? When you think about how many keywords there have to be for landscaping and different things, I mean, it's 1 million keywords and it's landscaping of all kinds. And let's just do this real fast. Here's what I've been doing lately. I get rid of the near me's. Okay, so I exclude near me's because I don't want to look up lists. I don't want to. It's too hard. Search volume, at least some, like 5, right? They don't even bother writing for keywords that have no advantage. Keyword difficulty, like 25, I start there. Okay, default filters on. And let's just see what that's worth. Look at that. 24,678 keywords, a total of over 2 million potential visitors. You know what we're going to do? Write a page for this keyword, just like they wrote a page for how long to cook pork shoulder at 350 degrees. And it's this page right here with all the detail in it. And you know what else we're building is a push button? This piece up here, the contents that you can hide or show. You know what this is? This is a list of the H2 tags and the H3 tags that go down the page. So I can click on any one of these. You know what that means to Google? I click something. If I land on the page and I see this and I was like, where was I? Oh yeah, what to serve with pork shoulder. That's what I wanted. I click it. There we go. Now I'm there. I'm just down the page, right? And I'm reading it. Google counts the click. And because I'm reading it and it's interesting, I kind of keep going. I kind of keep going. I kind of keep going. These are short, simple, sweet, to the point for each H2 tag or H3 tag. You see the value of that? That causes me to want to hang out on the page and even go up and see what else came before. Ooh, common mistakes to avoid. Heck, I should read that too while I'm right here. How to store it? Oh, I should read that while I'm right here. You realize it? This is what Google wants to see. The longer someone's on one page, the more chance they'll click an ad, especially a Google AdSense ad. Google wants to see how long they're on the page. It also means that they're interested in the topic. And so we can build these sites, backlink through them, and you guys can come in with stacks that can be resold. So we're going to build pages just like this. We're going to stick AdSense in there so Google has an incentive to raise the volume traffic to the web pages real fast. See? How's that for cool? And because of all that, they're going to flip. And if they're in topic, like I said, like if this is landscaping and these are landscaping ads, there's no jarring. It fits, right? Now they could still be personalized to the person's latest interest, but that's not jarring. That's what the person was taking in and what they're taking in now. No jar. Me, I'm discovering what I'm looking at, what I'm taking in, that's true. But if I was in market, it'd be so much the better. What if I was thinking about buying a grill and I saw an ad for best grills for cooking pork shoulders? Oh, now you get the point, right? So there you go, in market, huge. So we'll do these runs for anything that's great, like landscaping topics and tons and tons that we can do that are not your money or your life. They're just standard stuff, okay? So all you guys who want to come in, I'm going to make this a buyer's club. Those of you who put money in already through DML positions, I want to migrate you up into this. All you guys who are coming in with more, I want to get you in. All the guys who just put money in the past, like what? The last things that I was talking about, like the locksmith thing and the conversion to nationwide for accident attorneys, I'm going to apply that towards your share of this thing here. Okay? And I'm going to figure out some kind of an order. And all I can say is this. The guys who are putting in the money first, any kind of money, add another grand, add another, well, 1,500 is what I would say for one of these sites. And what I'm going to do is try to work up the rest of the holdings that you have into these sites as well. I want to start to get away from a lot of what we've been doing into this, because getting out of your money or your life things is really, really important. I'll do the locksmith thing for the locksmiths anyway. But I want to quit going for brick and mortar industries when we can do this instead. This is so much better to make money. Everyone's our market. They're all investors in websites that have traffic. They don't really care what industry it is. And they have the money because they've been flipping longer and they want to buy these things. Okay? So what happens if you can multiply your money in like times 10 in 3 months, okay? And divide by 2. We get our half. You get yours. And why? Because, again, we have to do all the work. We have to make this thing happen. We're dragging you with us. Okay? But say that happened to you. And then 3 months later, okay, it's going to be like this. Because we're going to take that money and throw it all back in. Now, if you decided to reinvest all that money, which is totally up to you, you're getting this, $37,500. What did you start with? $1,500. This is 6 months in. Say you do it again. Say you put the money back in, times 10. Okay, we get our half, divide by 2. Now you're at 187,500. We're 9 months into this. 369. We did 3 flips. Do I really think it could be a hell of a lot more? Yeah, like I said, landscaping to landscaping means no jarring. These sites will flip for 20, 25 times what they're worth. So let's just say you start with 1,500. At the end of 3 months, your share of it would be 10K, 10 times over, 10X. And then at the end of the next 3 months, it's 10 times over. And at the end of the next 3 months, it's 10 times over. Isn't that insane? This is what's possible now. I don't know why we didn't do it before, but you know what's really funny? These guys built these pages up most likely manually. Getting all this done, they went to ChatGPT and built a page at a time and pasted it in. Built another page, created it, pasted it in. Then they went back and got images and made sure they had this thing working. And whatever else they did, which isn't much. I mean, I've looked at the scores of these websites. They're crap. They're not too much crap, or else Google wouldn't be able to read them and stuff. You know what else I found they did? They invented people. They get some image somewhere, put some name somewhere, like you always see on testimonials, and then they give the guy some kind of a basic backstory. Could he be a real guy? He could. I don't know why, though. You know why they talk about it this way? They made him an author. And you know what they did with the author? They had the author write lots and lots of the pages. So like if you go to the author's page, it's some guy who wrote this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that. They made the author authentic with circular reasoning, or they could have. So if this guy's not real, and he might be real, just the way they're talking about it, Flint Tropics and stuff, did he really write these? Who's to say? Could be some guy. You may not have any idea anyone wrote these. Most people could care less. It's generic information. And if it is a real guy, well, heck, he's famous. But the point is, if you make a guy profile and then you have him create a bunch of topics, or at least seem to, then you can have those topics linked back to the guy to say he wrote them. And now you've got this authentic author about whatever thing he can talk about well. How to keep coffee hot and tasty. What do you want to bet? I can go to 20 other websites that have a page about how to keep coffee hot and tasty that belong to the same people, and I might just find them there. And those pages will rank higher faster because, hey, he's a known quantity. Doesn't really matter whether he's real. What matters is that we're creating routes for things. You know what else is cool about doing stuff like this? We can backlink anyone's anythings. And then that way, and I'm going to do it too, for you guys coming through the club, be first in. If you can't be first, be second. If you can't be second, be third. I'm going to hook you guys up at your levels. I'm going to create some kind of simple, easy to understand, tabular structure of this. And then when domains are going on sale, it's going to be through Google GoDaddy auctions or through Flippa.com. It's going to be extremely transparent. It's the kind of stuff anyone can look up anyway. You can look up when the last domain was bought and sold, and when it was bought and sold before that, and how much was paid and everything. I mean, it's so transparent. So there's no question what happened there. And by using SpyFu, even with a free account, you can at least see the curves. I mean, you can literally see, if I told you that's the domain that we got, you can watch this happen with your own eyes without even needing to pay, because they'll show you that much for free. You can see it, and you'll realize, time to sell. This has been a couple of months. Time to sell. Curves leveled off. Let's go, right? And based on the sheer traffic volume, that site's going to go. And if it's based in a certain industry, it's worth all the more. Okay? Insane. Because you're selling it based on the really, really, really obvious, it's worth $25,000 a month to somebody. Somebody gets a $25,000 a month benefit out of this website if they know how to use it. Because they can pitch themselves without paying for PPC on all those pages. You get it? No click fraud, no weirdness there. Just pay per 1,000 views instead of paying per click. And the value is insane for them. And so everybody's our friend if we do it this way. It's absolutely enjoyable. It's easy. Okay, This is going to be the direction I'm going to go. I'm going to figure out how to move people in there. I like to go concentric rings. Every time we make a change, we go in a new direction, start producing. Yeah, we need more money because what do we have to do? We have to create domain names or go get them. We have to produce contents. We have, in some cases, create new tools. Like the new tool I'm creating that I was talking about is this one right here. This one. Okay, so that we have these instant links down through the sections of the page. Google considers this internal linking, and that internal linking means that your pages are well organized. Now that's one thing, but what else is the other thing about this internal linking? What does it also mean? It also means that all of these keywords, Google relates combinations throughout here to this page, because very, very easily anybody landing on or looking for any of this stuff will tend to very quickly see how to get to it. Okay, and that means Google can show one page for like 125 keyword combinations, all mixed up through here. Any of the kind of verbs where like pork shoulder varieties, perfect cut, pork shoulder varieties. Any kind of keywords that relate to this stack that are low-hanging fruit keywords that get traffic, Google's going to show them. How do we look this up? Stupid simple. We could go to Also Asked. We could go anywhere and just say, hey, I need to write a comprehensive page about this topic. Tell me everything I need. And get it, right? We can look it up. Figure out all those things that should go together. Put it together like this. And then just write it all out. Write about this, write about that, write about this, write about that, write about this, write about that. Becomes a page on the site. Okay? We do it with a bunch of pages that relate to the topic. Do you know where they started with how many ounces in a cup? What is a cup? And they described it. And they explained the difference between fluid and hardened materials, and whether you're in the EU or AU or not, and depending on the humidity and the temperature, whether that expands or lowers the amount of stuff that's in the cup. But they did it in bite-sized, cool pieces. They had another one, was like, what's the taste of beer? And then they went through everything, barley, wheat, etc., etc., etc. And they explained it, just bitter, and they just went through a small explanation in each case all the way down the page for the sections. And they had it up here in the list as something you could click on immediately. Google loves that because people can find where they're going right away. They can get to that small little piece right here, right now, and it's a small little piece that answers their question. It's just enough to answer the question, but all this stuff goes together nicely. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to start migrating everyone over here because for all you guys, I want to get you 10 times over or better in a year. For everyone that got into DML, I want to get that stuff caught up fast. I want to be able to catch everyone up like in the next 9 months. With your help, I can do that. And all I can say is this. The ones who are throwing more money up now, and the ones who just threw up money recently, I can start naming names almost and say all the way back to this guy, that guy, and that guy. But like for the last, like, let's say, ever since I made the offer to switch from accident attorneys with the BOGO to nationwide, right? That amount of money moving forward, I'm going to get you with the position based on the order in which you paid and the amount in which you paid. But those of you who are throwing money up right now, you get to cut in line. And you get to cut in line simply because you're helping lead the way, okay? It's the leaders that I have to be treating first, but I'll tell you what, we're there. This is the mega load, the mother load, the mega mother load. Seeing with your own eyes how these guys are sneaking in a tremendous amount of traffic and making a tremendous amount of money. We see it. I saw the buying price. I saw the sales price when the auction ended. I went through the pages. I checked all their stats. I checked out their GT metrics or HTML validation and stuff. I looked at whether they were still even up and running. And I looked at the front pages. I looked at the layout of their website, how many pages they had on their website. And I just sat there in shock as I realized I'm seeing a perfect example of you do what Google wants, Google rewards you. And this is only a medium-sized website. all this stuff we never knew about, people getting tons of traffic organically. And every time you ever saw somebody with huge graphs of organic traffic, that's why. Low keyword difficulty, high volume, right about that. But in our case, now we get to do it with GPT automatically through tons of sites. First one in, and then the next, Oh, and that was a point I wanted to finalize. When people buy these sites from us, do you think they get rid of the pages? No way, right? It's the pages that make these worth buying, okay? So you know what they do? They leave the pages alone. You know what that means? Your backlinks are still in them. So wherever it was that you wanted backlinks to go in your project when you buy, let me know. Give me a list. When we create the pages, we'll fit your backlinks in. Or we'll do it afterwards at the press of a button because we know how. We have the tools, okay? So the reality check is this. Even after people are buying these websites and walking off, your backlinks stay in them. Isn't that something? Because what about the next guys who buy after you? Then their links point at you, which adds more strength to your backlinks going out. And the next guys? What happens when the third guy's buying? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these, whatever it is they get. Then, same stupid thing. Their backlinks, their sites are going to backlink the next guy's whose backlinks, the next guy's going up, but they also get benefit. Their backlinks going to wherever they want traffic to go and juice to go will be on their sites. And everyone who's buying after them keeps driving the power up through them while that's driving the power up to the next sites, including those guys going up through. So no, we are not just adding more and more backlinks to one website. If you bought this one website and it got sold and you had 5 backlinks leaving to 5 different websites of yours, great. Somebody else buys one website, we're going to have it linked to Oxbow Tavern plus their 5 websites or whatever it is that they want. That's on their website though. Your website's still the same, okay? And still only got those 5 links going out to you. So there's no dilution. There's strength added because the next website or websites are going to point at yours, okay? And I'm telling you, what if the guy gets 3? Well, he gets 3 and it points at your 1. That's good. But you know where you missed a huge opportunity in that case? That you didn't get 3. Because if you got 1 and he got 3, all I can do is have his 3 point at your 1. But if he got 3 and you had 3, I could have his 3 point at your 3. You see? Now, that's nuts, because then your 3 could have 5 backlinks to this and 5 backlinks to that, 5 backlinks to the other thing, or all of them could point at your 5 things. But do you get it now? And then on and on and on and on through the layers as people come. They get those double benefits. There's the benefit of being backlinked by the next buyers down, and the benefit that the juice that comes into your site goes out through your backlinks outward. For how long? Until people who buy these domains just decide to give up on them and throw them away, because eventually these curves are going to drop down low enough and they're just going to sell it to someone else who will have to do something else with it. You know what we're going to do? Probably see if we can pitch out to these guys the possibility of keeping their websites up if they want to pay. Because if they drop money on the domain and they get the website, they're probably going to want us to take care of their stuff too. You know what that does? That helps us make sure that all those backlinks stay. That could be our requirement. It's like, yeah, we can do anything you want with these websites if you're paying us, but you're going to keep these backlinks in there going to these sites here, okay? That's just, you know, the rule, right? And we'll just specify it that way. The backlinks stay in. And that's freaking easy. Most of the guys are going to agree to that. It's going to be rare that somebody says no. But I'll tell you what, the reality check is, we can remote control the sites. So unless they change to a whole new site, which makes no sense, why would you buy this thing and then take all the pages off? Nobody does that. Does that make sense? So when new buyers buy it, these things are going to hang out for as long as they can. Whether they're paying us or not, we have the remote control functionality on our end to keep adjusting their sites without their knowledge. Right? Which is okay. I could care less. The final point there, unless there was some reason why they need us to stop touching it, like if it is law or medical, but it won't be. That's just it. It's going to be like landscaping.com. Some investor bought it. He's just going to ride it for as long as he can ride it for. So we'll just make sure the backlinks stay in there. But do you know what else? We can go set goals on the pages that if there weren't goals to help the pages arrange themselves better to improve ROI. And of course, we're doing this for ourselves anyway. But that way, my whole point is we can make sure that their websites keep working on themselves. And that way, the hang time is a hell of a lot longer. So we can have these websites working for us and or buyers and still working for us. And so all you guys who decide that you're pouring into the club, I'm going to let you step in line as far back as the earliest thing I was just talking about there. And hopefully after a year or so, I can go as far back as I can go. If I can go as far back as the original guys buying the original locksmith sites and give you guys something like 3 times over, which is what I was talking about back then, the big goal being at least that as a first goal, then I'll do it. Because it'll be so fun to say, you guys pushed us this high up. Now we're there, and I can reward you appropriately, and I can just keep rewarding outward through the concentric layers back in time till I finally cover everyone. I'm telling you, I'm excited to do it. If there's enough money to do it, if it's easy enough to do, I have no problem doing that. And then that way I know I've got incredible, loyal, devoted guys, and I'll have you send in testimonials. By having said that, the biggest thing right now is this. Those of you that want to lead the way and hop into something like this is the fastest way I can see flipping your money in the shortest period of time. And I want it so I don't care how much money you put in. Let me say it this way. However much you put into accident attorneys and alcohol, drug, and rehab through DML, you guys, if you're stepping in with at least $1,500 now moving forward on this thing, or you just came in like with partial money or full, I want to move you into this, and I want to be able to account for your cash flows going back. Now that's accounting for your cash flows going. I'm going to try and be paying you out of that and get you all caught up and get you plenty of money ahead. But this is going to be an accelerated schedule, so it shouldn't happen. Or shouldn't take long to happen, sorry. And then the other thing is, still, the side benefit is the natural one. Whoever gets in first gets the first order. Whoever gets in second backlinks the guys who came in first. And also get to put their links in going out. Whoever comes in third backlinks the guys who came in ahead of them and also get to have their links pointed out. Okay. I need to set up some payment buttons for this, so I'll organize that to make that easy. In the meantime, here's what I'm going to say, because I've actually got to get some other things done time. I'm going to open the door when the recording goes out, so the first guys who are finding out are the ones who subscribed and listened all the way through, right? So what I'll say is, email me. Let me know a firm commitment of the time and the amount. Like, are you getting 1, 2, 3? I don't care how many you get. If you want to come in with 20, come in with 20. $1,500 flat each allows us to go find really good domains, pick them up. So we've got to do domain research. We actually have to buy domains. We have to win them. We have to create the contents and put them up and get this stuff arranged right. Watch the traffic curve. So it's going to be $1,500 each flat, at least for now. But the reality check is those who get in first. So get in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is you want. Okay. And this is the way I'm going to do it. Tell me when you're going to pay. Tell me how much you're going to pay. And shoot that to me in an email. Okay. Send that email to theme2html@gmail.com. For Dave, just say, hey, that's me. I'm going to pay you this much on this date. I know who you guys are. So just let me know. If I don't know who you are, introduce yourself. And I'm going to start working concentrically outward from there. The guys who paid the most recently at first, and very quickly after that, the guys who paid the most. But definitely, I want to absorb all you guys who got in a DML. And then by then, once I've got you paid out on my end, because the rest of you who are paying, you're getting your end. That's why you want to get in first, second, third anyway. Because I can have like maybe 10 times the money flipped to you in 3 months, and you can reinvest as much as that as you want. You want to keep 5 times out of that 10 times and give me the other 5 times back, and then roll that so it becomes, 10 times that amount, and then take your half off of that. That's huge. This is what I'm talking about. It's huge money very fast. It's what these guys are doing. That's why we're doing it. Because the best thing in the world is buy it cheap, build the content. Google starts to see how people react to it. People like it, so they index it higher and faster, especially if you have ads on it. And then up here somewhere, when it's flattening, it got as high as it got, sell it, right? And it's going to be for a lot. Somebody asked me, is there a way to lose doing that? And the answer is not really. You can lose time, but not money. Because if you put up for sale, nobody buys it, there was no cost. Literally, it's free. Maybe on Flippa, there's some kind of a listing fee of like $5 or something. Who cares? We can relist and relist and relist it, you know. But the point is, what are we going to do with these websites while they're up for sale? We're going to add more content to them or do more things to improve upon them. As we add more in, we're just going to keep improving the stack. Why? Because what happens if this thing takes a sudden leap up in the air again because we did some more stuff to it and Google just really loved it? Then we are going to take that thing out of the marketplace for the price we had it, triple the price, and throw it right back into the marketplace. So we're not even losing time. Okay? So yeah, if it doesn't sell the first time, just list it again. If it doesn't sell the second time, list it again. On GoDaddy Auctions, it's free. So it's easy for us to do. Okay? Till it sells. And then just hand out money. See how much easier this is than dealing with pay-per-call and trying to get payments from individual people around the nation and ask where their payment is and invoice everyone and they thought they paid already and was that call worthwhile or was it a bad call and argue about it? I don't want to do any of that anymore. Not now that GPT changed the world for us. All right, shoot me an email. Let me know what you can pay, when you can pay it, and that way I can start marking you down as you're responding. Okay, and I'll get you guys in quick. And we're going to have this thing live real soon. I got, like I said, that function that I'm having built, that content function that I was talking about. That's going to be done during the week. It's not on that one. It's on this one. Yeah, like this. Done during the week. All of this functionality that we have is done. Then the ability to just look up great industries and start pounding content into them is really on us. I could take an industry like landscape, 2 million searches across how many keywords was it, and do what? Do like 10 websites for that easy. They're all going to fill in next to each other for their keywords. They're all going to get a terrific amount of traffic and stuff, and they're all going to be worth selling. And the guy who buys the first one, I'm going to offer him the other ones too, if he wants them and can afford them, just so we can have more front page spots. And we don't even have to discount them. They already proved their point to the guy, you know? So we can just fair value him for the fact that that way he can saturate the front pages more. By the way, I saw that. That's the last thing I'm going to do. How many slices in a 14-inch pizza or ounces in a cup? There's a ton, right? When you're coming down, like, yeah, okay, 10 slices, great. But if you want to read more about it and you scroll down, you know what I found out? These guys belong to that group. I think one of these guys belong to that group. There's some other, these guys belong to that group. These guys belong to that group. These guys belong to that group. Some of these sites were up here earlier and then they're kind of falling as new ones are being pushed up. You know why I think? I think these were built up first and sold off, and using the money from the proceeds, they built more of the websites that they're starting to put out. So it's newer content. So it's showing up to outweigh the older content, but at the same time, that's because they already sold the old websites. They don't need them to rank anymore. They're ranking new ones to replace the old ones. Isn't that insane? Well, what happens if we already had all of your backlinks in these anyway? They still count for you. And what if those websites are pushing links to these new ones? And these new ones have links going out. This is crazy, guys. We can do this so fast, so well for any industry. And with all your eggs in one basket like that, where we're just creating the one thing for you guys, for as many as we can handle, and just split the payments out. And it's a huge amount. It's just the number of websites you buy. I mean, we could keep rolling them and selling them, rolling them and selling them as we go. And we can do it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 industries and cover lots of you in the act, like 50 of you. We can cover with 5 industry projects. And we don't have to track anyone's anything. And we're at a point where, like, you give me a list of keywords like these, okay? Once we decide the keywords to choose, whoops. Oh, it's not going to click now. Once we decide the keywords to choose, we can start automatically writing perfected pages for them all and putting variations up on different websites and then backlink through the website to the press of a button. We have automated tools for it now. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's funny to see all these and realize that all of this belongs to the same group of people. They're on the same servers. There's like 3 servers that they have all their websites on. All the websites keep showing up on 3. I was thinking maybe it's 3 different groups till I realized where the backlinks were crossing the streams. I thought, well, I'll be dang. I don't know how many people are in the group, but it's one group. Crazy. All right, yeah, let me know who's in, and the faster you respond and tell me how many you're getting and when you're getting them. It will come down to who's making the first payments, of course, but it's just let me know so I have a clue what to prepare for, and I'll get you up there, penciled in, and as you make the payments, the faster you make the payments, that turns from pencil to ink, right? Literally, you become first, second, third in the list. I'll find some way to kind of mark that into the system. It'll be neat to be able to mark like position 1 belongs to these guys' initials with that many websites in this industry. Position 2, position 3, position 4, whatever. I'll figure it out. That's interesting stuff. The coolest stuff in the world, though, is just watching these curves go like this. That right there, I can't wait. We have everything we need. We study the competitors. We know what they're doing right. We know how to do it better. And we have tools to do it faster. And if I need to make an adjustment inside my tools, that's not a problem. We can write 17 of these at the same time automatically, not one at a time manually from the chat module into a web page. That's huge. All right. Talk to you soon, and I hope you like it. I'm sure you will, really, when you think about it. If you thought, Dave, you keep switching directions, I'll tell you what. I only saw this for the first time about 3 days ago. I didn't mean to switch directions, but do you know what? This is more promising than anything I've ever seen. If you agree with me, we're on the same page, and I'm going to carry you guys along anyway. All right? Talk to you soon.